Cowboys Nation, settle in, because this is one of those conversations that feels overdue. As this season has unfolded, the same issues keep resurfacing, the same frustrations keep boiling over, and the same questions keep echoing through the fanbase. With this channel pushing closer and closer to a massive subscriber milestone, it feels like the right moment to zoom out and really examine where this team stands, not just week to week, but structurally, philosophically, and emotionally. The Dallas Cowboys are not a rebuilding team. They are not short on talent. And yet, they continue to look like a group searching for answers that should already be clear. At the heart of that struggle is a disconnect between talent and execution, between scheme and personnel, and between what fans expect and what the team consistently delivers on Sundays. One of the most glaring pressure points all season long has been the middle of the defense, specifically the linebacker position. On paper, Kenneth Murray's numbers jump off the stat sheet. 70-plus tackles sounds impressive. It looks productive. It looks like reliability. But football is not played on a spreadsheet, and tackles alone rarely tell the full story, especially for an off-ball linebacker. In many cases, leading the team in tackles can actually be a red flag, an indicator that opposing offenses are reaching the second level far too easily. Too many of Murray's tackles are coming 5, 6, even 8 yards downfield, after damage has already been done. Those are not drive-killing plays. Those are clean-up plays, and the Cowboys need impact plays. When you break down the film, the issues become even clearer. Murray's athleticism is undeniable. He can run. He can chase. He can hit. But instincts, anticipation, and positioning have consistently lagged behind. He is often a step late diagnosing run concepts, slow to react to play action, and uncomfortable when asked to carry receivers in zone coverage. Opposing quarterbacks have learned this quickly, targeting the middle of the field with confidence. Tight ends and running backs leak out into space, knowing they can find soft spots in coverage. The run defense, particularly between the tackles, has been porous, with Murray frequently caught out of position or over-pursuing, opening cutback lanes that NFL backs exploit without hesitation. This is why the conversation around alternatives has grown louder by the week. Logan Wilson has shown flashes of steadiness, a player who may not be flashy but understands leverage, angles, and assignment football. Then there's Shamar James, raw but intriguing, a young linebacker whose speed and aggressiveness jump off the screen even in limited snaps. At this point in the season, stagnation is the enemy. Potential, development, and upside matter more than sticking with a veteran whose ceiling appears firmly established. Continuing to roll out the same lineup while expecting different results is a formula Cowboys fans have grown painfully familiar with. The scheme itself deserves just as much scrutiny as the personnel. Matt Eberflus has leaned heavily into a bend but don't break philosophy, one designed to limit explosive plays and force offenses to march down the field methodically. In theory, it sounds disciplined. In practice, it has been disastrous in critical moments. Bending has turned into breaking far too often. Third and long conversions. Red zone touchdowns. Extended drives that drain the clock and sap momentum. The Cowboys have allowed multiple touchdown performances without forcing turnovers, and that is a death sentence in today's NFL. A defense that doesn't generate takeaways puts immense pressure on its offense to be nearly perfect, and this Cowboys offense has not been that. Blitzing has been another area of frustration. The Cowboys blitz at a rate just below league average, but raw percentages don't tell the real story. It's the timing, the creativity, and the personnel usage that feel off. Players like Osei Odigizua have proven they can disrupt pockets when unleashed creatively, yet those opportunities feel sporadic. Shamar James has shown flashes as a downhill blitzer, attacking gaps with urgency, but those flashes remain isolated moments rather than a featured part of the defensive plan. Ironically, Kenneth Murray may actually be more effective when used as a blitzer, where his athleticism can be leveraged aggressively rather than exposed in coverage. And yet, the staff continues to deploy him primarily in zone responsibilities that do not suit his strengths. This conservative approach has left the defense reactive rather than proactive. Instead of dictating terms, the Cowboys are responding, adjusting on the fly, and often arriving late. That lack of aggression bleeds into confidence. Players hesitate. Gaps widen. Assignments break down. And fans are left wondering why obvious adjustments seem so slow to materialize. This is not a one-year issue. It's a recurring theme that stretches across multiple seasons, different rosters, and different iterations of this coaching staff. Special teams, often overlooked, have quietly compounded these problems. Hidden yardage has become a silent killer for this team. A decent kickoff return wiped out by a holding penalty. A punt coverage breakdown that flips field position. Missed assignments that force the offense to start deep in its own territory. These moments don't dominate highlight reels, but they shape games. A 10-yard penalty on a return doesn't feel dramatic, but over the course of 4 quarters, those swings add up. Field position is currency in the NFL, and the Cowboys have been leaking value week after week. Personnel adjustments on special teams feel overdue. Players like Sam Williams bring speed and physicality that could help stabilize coverage units. Blocking assignments need reevaluation. Communication has to improve. Because when an offense already struggles with slow starts, starting drives backed up inside the 15-yard line only magnifies existing issues. And that brings us to the offense, where early game struggles have become a defining storyline. Under Brian Schottenheimer, the Cowboys have leaned heavily on run-heavy opening scripts. While balance is important, predictability is dangerous. Too often, the Cowboys find themselves behind early, forced into catch-up mode by the second quarter. We've seen it repeatedly. Down 6-3 after 1 quarter. Down 21-0 midway through the second. Trailing elite teams like the Chiefs before the offense ever finds rhythm. Early deficits shape everything. They compress playbooks. They increase pressure. They force quarterbacks into obvious passing situations against aggressive defenses. When the offense starts slow, the ripple effect is enormous. The defense stays on the field longer. Fatigue sets in. Mistakes compound. Special teams are asked to cover more snaps. Momentum swings hard in the opponent's favor. Even when the Cowboys eventually find their footing, the margin for error has already vanished. 1 sack. 1 drop. 1 penalty. And suddenly, the comeback attempt collapses under its own weight. Cornerback play adds another layer of uncertainty. Trayvon Diggs, when healthy and locked in, is a true game changer. Few defenders in the league can flip momentum with a single play the way he can. But inconsistency and health concerns have made it difficult to rely on him week to week. Strategic deployment becomes crucial. Putting Diggs in positions where he can play aggressively without exposing the defense requires trust and clear communication. Savon Revel has shown flashes of reliability, a steady presence that doesn't always make headlines but can stabilize coverage. Meanwhile, options like Kalen Carson and Reddy Stewart have struggled to deliver consistently, leaving the secondary searching for the right mix. In a division filled with offenses eager to exploit even the smallest coverage lapse, this matters. 1 missed assignment. 1 blown zone. 1 hesitation. And suddenly, a manageable drive turns into a back-breaking touchdown. The Cowboys cannot afford to be tentative on the back end, yet hesitation is exactly what creeps in when players are unsure of their roles or the scheme asks them to do too much without clarity. All of this feeds into the larger issue of identity. Who are the Dallas Cowboys defensively? Are they aggressive? Are they opportunistic? Or are they content to absorb pressure and hope for mistakes? Right now, the answer feels muddled. The defensive front has players capable of generating pressure and forcing turnovers, but the philosophy seems more concerned with avoiding mistakes than creating chaos. Preventing big plays has come at the cost of making big plays. And in today's NFL, that trade-off rarely pays dividends. As fans grapple with these frustrations, a new storyline has begun to ripple through league circles, one that has injected a jolt of intrigue into an otherwise exhausting narrative. Whispers suggest that linebacker CJ Mosley has signed with the Dallas Cowboys. Nothing has been officially announced. No press conference. No social media reveal. But insiders insist the deal is real, and the buzz inside the organization is unmistakable. If true, this move could represent more than just a roster addition. It could signal a philosophical shift. CJ Mosley brings something this defense has lacked for years: authority in the middle. He is a field general, a player who diagnoses plays before the snap, aligns teammates, and commands respect in the huddle. His football IQ is elite. His instincts against the run are sharp. His zone awareness allows him to close windows before quarterbacks can exploit them. Coaches reportedly see Mosley as a stabilizing force, someone who can elevate the players around him simply through preparation, communication, and accountability. There's also talk that Mosley's arrival could unlock more aggressive looks. With a linebacker who can handle coverage responsibilities and make the correct reads, the coaching staff could free up younger players to attack. Blitz packages could become more creative. Disguises more effective. The defense could finally dictate rather than react. For players like Shamar James and Osa Odigizua, this could mean clearer roles and more impactful opportunities. Inside the locker room, the energy shift is already being felt, according to sources. Younger defenders reportedly see the move as proof that the front office believes this team can still contend. Veterans view Mosley as a calming presence, someone who brings clarity to a unit that has often looked uncertain. Leadership matters, especially in moments of adversity, and Mosley's presence alone could change how this defense carries itself. Of course, expectations must be tempered. One player cannot fix everything. Scheme, execution, and coaching decisions still matter. But symbolism matters too. The idea of CJ Mosley wearing a star carries weight. It suggests urgency. It suggests accountability. It suggests that the Cowboys are not content to let this season drift away without a fight. As the season pushes forward, the margin for error continues to shrink. Fans are watching every snap, every substitution, every call from the sideline. Patience is wearing thin, not because expectations are unrealistic, but because this roster has shown enough flashes to make the struggles feel unnecessary. The Cowboys don't need a miracle. They need alignment. Alignment between scheme and talent. Alignment between philosophy and execution. Alignment between urgency and action. If adjustments come quickly, if bold decisions are made, if young players are trusted and veterans are held accountable, this season can still shift. But if stubbornness prevails, if the same mistakes are repeated, then the narrative will harden, and another year of wasted potential will be added to the list. Cowboys Nation has seen that movie before. The hope now is that this time, the ending can be different. If you've made it this far, make sure you subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep breaking down everything happening with the Dallas Cowboys, honestly and in real time. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe CJ Mosley can be the spark this defense needs, or are deeper changes required? As always, we'll keep watching, analyzing, and bringing you the latest. See you in the next video.